Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Was Kidnapped and Returned with a Bloodline. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was half Kryptonian and half Saiyan over in Anime King 3, and enjoy that guys. And also over Anime King I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto got all of Kurama's power before the Chunin exams. So go ahead and enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to also turn on that bell notification and see exactly when I post on the 3 channels. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we jump right into this new episode? Why don't we start up the intro guys? So the last spot we left off, it has been 4 years since Naruto arrived at Konoha. As we start out with the academy with Sasuke sitting down, and yet he released an outburst that no one expected to come from him, Sasuke of all person. But they could see that something was truly wrong with him, as Sasuke was terrified as he heard Ino call that monster's name. We then dive into a flashback. The Uchiha clan was wiped out, leaving Sasuke alone as Hiruzen decided to walk the child home. As Sasuke just went in afterwards, only to see someone in his compound, as he told him to leave, as Naruto introduced himself and saying that he was going to be his best friend. Sasuke challenged him to a spar to work out some of his frustration, but also, once he win, Naruto would just leave him alone. So with that, they start a fight. For 1 hour straight, Sasuke could not touch him. Every time Naruto tapped him on his skin, he just tapped him. Instead of hitting him, he just tapped him. To this point, Sasuke has never get a hit from Naruto, he simply tapped him, as Naruto said that it was too harmful to attack him. Sasuke was confused by what that meant. So since then, Naruto has been pulling pranks and torturing the living hell out of Sasuke, leaving Sasuke a bit terrified of him. So we then had a small time skip. Danzo Shamiro was having people report back on Teiwaya and Naruto. Both of them were doing exceptionally well in the class. We then had a flashback to when they first came to Konoha. Danzo arrived in the office expecting to get the children so that he could train, but Hiruzen refused that. Teiwaya would estimate their skills, but Naruto cut her off and told him that the both of them were just fresh academy students level. Danzo refused to believe that, Hiruzen did not believe it either, but this was the opportunity to get them out of Danzo's grasp, so he allowed them to enter the academy, angering Danzo. We then skip back to the original time. As a year passed, as Naruto was going to the library along with Shikamaru and Sasuke. Upon passing the academy, he got new clearance and more freedom to roam the village, well, especially the library. As he wanted information, Kabuto was always speaking about the Uzumaki clan this, the Uzumaki clan that, but he never actually told Naruto what the Uzumaki clan was, and no, Naruto was intent on finding out what exactly the Uzumaki clan was. He met a girl in the library, her name was Shio, as she brought him to where the books were. Upon Shikamaru and Sasuke speaking as they want to find out more about the blonde, Naruto has taken it as his perfect subject as well, to torture Shikamaru. He said that he was too smart to be that lazy, so he proceeded to torture him almost every day, and making sure that he kept his mind and also his body active as well. But Shikamaru and Sasuke was intended to find out exactly what made Naruto tick, and they want to find out more about him, and Sasuke want to find out how powerful exactly was Naruto. So with that, they decided to follow him and see what he was doing. But Naruto knew that they were there the entire time as he told him to come out. It was then that Shio noticed Shikamaru. It seems like she had a crush on Shikamaru as her cheeks went red, as there was just something about him. Perhaps love at first sight for her, as she excused herself. As Naruto walked over towards the others, so that they could read up about the Uzumaki clan. So yeah guys, basically that's what I thought. If you guys can switch across the place, check it out for yourself. Remember to go ahead and check out the other episodes over at Anime King and Anime King 3. which I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. Yes, I indeed have 3 channels that I post 20 fun every single day. Yes, you heard that right. Every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, And check them out, link will be in the description. So yeah, without further ado, why don't we jump right into this new episode? Let's begin right away, guys. We begin this episode with Sakura and Ino as they walk shoulder to shoulder down the road, having the most intense stare-off ever. As it amazed people how they had not bumped into anyone yet, as sparks flew between the girls. What could be this important that caused the two girls to try and reduce each other's brain to hot mush? With pure ocular power, alone on this pleasant day. It's obvious that Sasuke-kun wants me, Ino Pig. You're just some cheap entertainment. I'm the main attraction. The only reason why he'd want you is to use your forehead as a reflective surface so that he could look extra good for me. As they continued to curse at each other, a red blur was moving as she accidentally crashed into them. Ow, did anyone get the number of the truck that hit me, said Ino. Sorry, I just have to get away from that crazy bitch. The redhead was identified to be Teiwaya. As she looked around fearfully, Sakura looked towards her in confusion. Who are you running from? And why did you call him a crazy bitch? Everyone was used to Teiwaya's crass language by now, but it was quite unusual for her to refer to someone as that without cause. Not to mention she seemed to be running away from whoever was troubling her, and that got Sakura curious. Ino on the other hand thought that this was something entirely different. So that's your game, huh, forehead? Trying to get someone to take me out, so you will have less distraction to win Sasuke's heart. Well, I got news for you, Pinky. It didn't work, so suck on that. As she used a nearby child as a prop to stand up, she patted the child on his head. Good job, kid. You could be a professional. Stand up, help her, she said. Ignoring Ino, Sakura walked over to Teiwaya to help her up. Seriously, Teiwaya, what's got you so spooked? No one has ever seen her like this since her and Naruto appeared 4 years ago. It was rather unnerving to see someone who was usually an abrasive, unshakable hard-ass be reduced to this, a scared young girl. Teiwaya looked around to avoid the monster. I'm not scared. It's more like an annoyance. But Sakura saw that she was shaking slightly. Listen, I know that we don't know each other that well, but I'm willing to help you with whatever is bothering you, but I can't help if you don't let me know what is going on. Teiwaya wondered if she should involve the Pinky Kunoichi in her problems. Before she shrugged, okay, I guess I can tell you. There's this crazy lady that has been harassing me the entire morning, trying to get me to fight her. Usually I would never back down from a fight, but the psycho is just too much for me. Well, why don't you just tell someone important? Like a Jonin or a Chunin or somebody, asked Ino. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't mess with you if a high-ranking ninja got involved. Oh, that's so cute. You little girls believe that someone can stop me from cutting her up. Really cute, a feminine voice said. The girls turned to see a woman standing there. Her purple hair was tied up into a ponytail, a trench shirt with a coat over it, and a short orange miniskirt. Black shinobi sandals that came up to her knees. As she was smiling, Teiwaya paled as she saw the woman. That's her. That's the evil snake lady that wouldn't leave me alone. Go away. I want nothing to do with you. A kunai nicked her cheek. As Uncle appeared behind Teiwaya as she grabbed the kunai and licked the blood off. Tasty blood like this was hard to come by. Why have you been running from me all morning? I just wanted a couple of spars between two fellow Konoha shinobi. Teiwaya turned towards her. Are you serious? Why would you be trying to spar with a first Jenny like me? The skill level between us showed that it wouldn't be a spar. It would be a one-sided beatdown. There was no way that this woman wasn't missing a few brain cells. How retarded it was for someone, her rank, to spar against a Genin. She didn't even call it training or anything, just a full-blown spar. Uncle simply smirked. I know more than just your rank, girlie. Another cryptic statement. The only reason I'm after you now is that I don't know where the other one is. Say, how about we make a deal? If the deal involved me helping you find Naruto, so you can put him through some of your nefarious plans, then you can go and suck it, you psycho bitch. I'm never gonna rat him out, so suck on that. Yeah, said Ino. You can go ahead and leave now. Go and put some clothes on, you're scarring the little boy with a bright future for life. Said little boy that Ino used to get to her feet was staring at Uncle with a dopey look on his face, wondering why his pants were feeling so restricted all of a sudden. Uncle struck a rather provocative pose as a few Paisan men fainted, including little boy. It felt so good to know that you can do this. Being one of the hottest kunoichi within Konoha had its perks. As Uncle turned her gaze back down, you sure you don't want to tell me? I'll be your best friend. Screw you, said Teiwaya. Before Uncle could say anything, there was a ruckus coming from down the road as they all turned their gaze. A decent-sized cloud of smoke was coming towards them. 3 of the silhouettes were staring down a 4th shadow. Goddamn Konohamaru, this is why I say we need less smoke. I can barely see, let alone breathe, a young feminine voice said, as she sounded quite frustrated. The introduction was completely ruined because that idiot refused to listen. Sorry to say this, Kono, but I agree with Mogi. This is a bit too much smoke. That was an understatement. It was so thick that he couldn't even see the ground that he was kneeling on. Both of you shut up. We had to go hard or go home with this introduction. I'd rather they talk about us being overboard rather than having nothing. Despite of how annoying he is, I rather like the kid and his little gang. He reminds me of me, a voice said. Highly irritating, another voice said. Too determined to go above and beyond for the most troublesome reasons, another voice said. Short for your age. Sasuke, wanna have a real spar, I promise. I won't go easy on you this time. Bring it, dope! As 2 of the silhouettes seemed like they were rustling, as the 3rd one simply walked away. As he stepped out of the smoke, troublesome people, he said. Go, boss! Kick his ass, Konohamaru said. Yeah, you got this, boss, the other kid said. Anko saw the smoke clear up, as she smiled to what she saw. The Uchiha was on the ground as the blonde had him in a lock. I don't need you anymore. I found the one I really wanted, she said as she walked away. As she reached down and pulled them apart. Hey, wanna come with me and talk? Me and you have a similar upbringing, and I would like to pick your brain. No thanks, I'm about to leave the village sometime soon. You can talk to Shikamaru if you like. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. No one noticed that Shikamaru wasn't even there anymore, as he had walked off a long time ago. Anko put on a smile that was a bit too sweet as she pressed her forehead to the jinchuurikis. Think of that as less as an invitation, more of an order from a superior. And what do you mean leaving the village, she asks. As Naruto grinned, top secret stuff, lady. Maybe when I get back we can talk. It was then that both Naruto and Sasuke poofed away, showing that they were clones. How did they even know that jutsu? It was a kinjutsu for a reason, damn it. No wet behind the ear Jenny should know something like that. It was too dangerous for kids like them. She then turned to face her previous target, but Teiwaya was long gone. The other 2 baby Genin were gone as well, which further pissed her off. She hoped to salve the situation and turn back towards the kids in the box, but they were gone as well. This was embarrassing. How did all of them escape without her noticing? She was a Takabitsu Jonin and yet all of them left, without her even noticing. The same child was still there. Since they're gone, you can pick my brain, pretty lady. I won't run from you, he said. Time skip. 3 days later. So let me get this straight. You plan to go all the way to a village that is supposedly not even standing anymore, just on the off chance that you will find something there. Naruto huffed. For the umpteenth time, Sasuke, yes. It was really getting annoying to have to explain his plan to his friend. Sasuke watched as Naruto start to pack everything. He's never seen him so serious about something like this before. Come to think of it, Naruto has never been serious about anything at all. All he's done for the past 4 years is annoy almost everyone, and wear that stupid grin on his face. The sudden change of demeanor since he went to the library and found out about the clan of his was a shock. A knock on the door did not stop him from packing. Could you get that while I finish up here? I still say that you shouldn't go. What if you go out there and get yourself killed or something? As Sasuke made his way towards the door, he first took note of the thunder that was brewing in the distance. He then saw the person. You willingly came here. Or did your mom force you to do that? Are you going to stand there and look at me, or are you going to let me in? If you haven't here, there's a storm coming, Shikamaru grunted as he noticed Naruto packing. Why is he packing a bag? Are you guys having a sleepover at Sasuke's or something? He turned back towards Sasuke, who was frowning. Alright, throw in your face, not a sleepover. The dope decided he's gonna go on a wild goose chase trying to find the village that his clan supposedly came from. Pretty stupid idea if you ask me. Both boys have changed since being around Naruto. Shikamaru developed a attitude for sarcasm, as Sasuke was just an impulsive asshole. As Naruto stopped packing, having someone continuously drop shit about your plan got him really angry. He walked over. Sasuke saw Naruto unusually angry as he gripped him by the shirt and lifted him off the ground. Let's get something straight. You had a family. Doesn't matter if they're dead or not. The point is you had a family. Me on the other hand, I didn't have shit. Yeah, I had someone to train me, people to be around, but none of them were my family. I didn't have a mom or dad to come home to, or be happy with. I didn't have a brother or sister, no aunt, no uncles, nothing. Just a sick, sadistic asshole that saw me as a prized possession More than one, to be exact. Not the actual person. Do you know how it feels to be a little boy with absolutely no knowledge of your background? Not knowing who gave you his name, who gave birth to you. You don't. You're the last Uchiha. Before that title was unfortunately bestowed upon you, you had both your family and the village reminding you what you are, constantly kissing your family's ass, reminding you where you came from. This trip is for me to experience that, and I'll be damned if I let you stomp on something that means a whole lot to me. Say something else about it that I don't like, and I will gladly show you why. Me not taking you seriously in a fight is the best course of action. As Naruto threw him across the room, he crashed in the wall, causing several cracks to form. With his piece spoken, Naruto returned back to his bag as he started to pack, leaving a shocked Shikamaru there. Shikamaru walked over. "Are you okay?" he said to Sasuke. "I think I'm fine. I just hit the wall a bit harder than expected. Nothing major." It seems like Sasuke really got under his skin. It's crazy because Naruto was the one that got under people's skin. "When are you leaving?" Shikamaru asked. "Once I finish packed." "Why?" "I'm coming too." Looks of confusion came from both the boys. They looked towards Shikamaru. Was Naruto that upset that he was hearing things? Did Sasuke hit his head that hard that he was imagining things? Shika, you do know that this is a real trip out of the village, right? Not the academy thing where we end up 10 feet from the gate. Yeah, so? There might be a possibility of us running into fights along the way. Don't worry, I'm prepared for all of that. I just need to go and get my gear ready. Are we gonna meet back here? Before I answer that, why are you trying to come with me? This has nothing to do with you. Plus, wouldn't you want me gone for a couple of days, so that you can be Naruto free for a while? Shikamaru chuckled at those questions. He then walked over and whacked Naruto over the head. You idiot. You're one of my closest friends, regardless. Upon me saying things like that, you need to know that I have your back. This is a really important subject for you, so why not go along with my friend to provide some support? Shikamaru really considered my friend enough to go along with a self-composed mission that had nothing to do with him. That was pretty touching to hear. Well, if you want to come to support him, who was Naruto to stop him? At least he wouldn't be bored and lonely now. As Naruto hugged Shikamaru, surprising the others in the room. Thanks for coming, Shika. That really means a lot to me. Not expected to be hugged by one of his closest comrades, and most annoying as well. As Naruto broke the hug, well, I'm gonna get my stuff back. As he left, leaving Naruto and Sasuke still there. I should probably go back as well. Bullshit, you're not going, said Naruto. If I wasn't going, then why did I say I'm going to pack as well? You had me sold at possible fights anyway. Figures, you can get him to do damn near anything if you mention a fight. A week later, land of Whirlpool. The sunset gave the sky an orange glow as the trio cut through the foliage and land. As Naruto produced a bone sword when they were not looking, as he was now using to cut down all the plants in their way. A foolish plant that tried to impede their advances. After managing to leave the village with the Hokage permission, the three of them continued to move. Once they arrived at the coast, they had to find a way to get across the water. Lucky, a cargo ship was passing by. However, it wouldn't allow them on at first because they didn't have enough money. Thus, they utilized their skills of stealth, snuck onto the boat and saw a smaller boat attached to the ship, so they jumped on and stole it. It's a good thing they could change their morals whenever needed. Now they traveled through the jungle, trying to find a good place to stop, so they could set up camp for the night. Are we there yet? No, Shika. We haven't been there since. We were at the coast. We haven't been there since. We were on the boat. We are not there yet. How about now? No. How about now? Please stop. I agree with the team. It's annoying as hell, said Naruto. If it was him alone, he would have probably got there already. But the other two did not know how to use chakra to climb trees. He would have taught them, but his eagerness to get there override any sensei teaching that might happen anytime soon. Sasuke slapped away the million mosquito that tried to bite him now. As he looked towards the dope, hey dope, where did you get that sword? Not wanting to give away his cake Genkai so easily, Naruto came up with a small lie. I found it on one of the corpses that we passed by. Hopefully they bought it so that he wouldn't get questioned any further. The third told him not to go around parading his abilities, so that a lot of possible questions were not asked. Shikamaru did not bite for 1 second. The sword looked brand new, and all the corpses that they passed was old and long dead, as they were skeletons, with rusted weapons and equipment on them. He chose not to say anything though, instead he just whined about the journey that they were taking. He really should have stayed home. Damn his tendency to be a good friend. Maybe he should ask Sasuke and some pointers on how to be a complete ass to everyone around you in the future. As they finally arrived on top of a cliff, and what they saw, their objective. The sunset bathed the place in an orange glow. caused Naruto to look towards his heritage with awe. Wow, this is where I could have been from. There was a massive waterfall on the other side that split the city in two. As he saw the high buildings, numerous bridges allowed the people to pass over the water, but those bridges were not in good condition. They were broken here and there. Naruto leaped up in the air. Forget camp. Let's go exploring. Later that night, those ruins. Two figures stood on top of one of the fallen buildings, gazing down towards the three children walking on the road. The tallest figure was a man, as he was wearing a white mask with a Kira symbol on it, black, baggy tank top, black pants, grey arm guards and shin guards. There was a large needle sword in his hand, with several feet of ninja wire tied around him. His partner had long brown hair, which he wore in strands. The top of his head was wrapped in bandages, and he had an eye patch over his eye. As you could see the scratched out Kira headband, the tallest one started to laugh. I want to kill that little shit down there, as he pointed towards Naruto. He didn't like the kid and he was in a foul mood, due to the circumstances of them being on this island. No one would be in a good mood after being chased away from your home, like you were wild animals. No one would like that. Relax, Kushimaru. We don't have to outright kill the boy. What we need to do is find out why 3 out-of-place Konoha kids are all the way out here. The bearded one sat wondering why the brats were creeping around the village. It doesn't seem like they came with a Jonin, and Konoha was not too close to the island. Kushimaru gave his partner an angry glare. Not that his partner would notice, since he was wearing a mask. Oh, screw you. We should kill them so that when the hunter didn't show, there won't be anyone to let them know that we're here. Huh, Jinpachi? He had a point. The hunter nin that was pursuing them would eventually get to the ruined village, and if those boys down there gave him a tip, they would probably be able to catch up quicker. But there was also another route. What if they don't know that we're even here? An even better, a less violent route for Jinpachi. Those kids down there seem to be wet behind the ear's Genins. And Jinpachi and Kushimaru were elite Jonins. It would be a highly mortified day for the two elites if they weren't able to sneak past a couple of kids. Seriously, how hard was it to go through some ruins silently? Kushimaru grunted even though he saw the logic. He did not care. So what? Are we just gonna move past little brats without taking any actions against them? I still feel a bit jumpy about just leaving those kids to wander about. He then saw the blonde came to a stop and looked right towards him. They spotted us. Not bad. Maybe if you weren't oozing killer intent so much, we would have been able to go along with my plan. I guess it's your plan now that they've seen us. As Jinpachi tightened his hand on his blade, flashing a grin that was full of nothing but sharp triangle teeth. Despite him saying that they should go past the kids, he would be lying if he said he didn't want to fight at the moment. It was unlucky that one of them spotted them on the roof, showing that one of them might be skilleder than he thought. Well, they were gonna find out soon enough. Meanwhile, with Naruto and friends, Naruto glanced towards the roof as he felt that sick killer intent came from. Due to his upbringing, he was well versed, knowing when someone wanted to slaughter something they did not like. This isn't good. Those two up there are threats, really major threats. Naruto was sure that he could take them. It wasn't his first time fighting someone who wanted to bless him with the gift of not being alive anymore. However, he wasn't sure how he was going to be a badass. Within his humble opinion, is unstoppable Kick Genkai. With Sasuke and Shikamaru not getting a taste of the afterlife, they really shouldn't have come, damn them and their good friend tendencies. Okay guys, I'm not gonna mince words here. There's two strong guys that don't give off friendly vibes watching us right now. So here's how this is gonna go down. There are two things that they can try to do. If I'm correct, more than likely they will come down here, trying to intimidate us for a little before attempting to gut us like fresh fish. Once they come down here and get their rant on about how they're better than us, I'm going to drop a smoke bomb. You two would use that to run back to the boat and wait for me while I handle them. Any questions? The both of them looked at him. You know, all this time we were joking about you being slightly retarded after that suicidal, dumbass plan that you just tried to get us to agree to. It seemed like the case might be right. Shikamaru deadpanned, knowing that this proposal was not one of the blonde best ideas. There was a distance of about 15 meters and yet he could feel the killer intent from one of his opponents. The intent that Naruto was giving off in his apartment was pretty potent, but these two were on a much higher level. Basically, they were screwed. Naruto flipped him off. How dare his friend call his scheme retarded? He was confident in his abilities to put them down. A little support, especially the support that he said he came to give, would be pretty nice right now. Sasuke interjected though. You never say the second possibility. What is it, he asked. Naruto never got to answer as several senbons flew through the air, directly towards their heads, each of them dodging their own ways, before the two swordsmen landed right in front of them. At least Naruto hadn't said the other half of his potential thinking. His course of action was fighting, not thinking that much. Leave that stuff for Shikamaru. The duo released a potent amount of killer intent as they saturated the air with it. Nothing like a tense steering competition before a one-sided slaughter. It really set the tone. Jinpachi turned his gaze towards Naruto as he identified him as the ringleader. Mind telling us what you're doing all the way out here, brat? This is nowhere near your neck of the woods, boy. Mind telling me why 2 of the 7 ninja swordsmen are here with scratch-out headbands? I'm guessing that you guys went rogue. I'm guessing the hunter ninjas are on your ass, like white on rice. Well. It seems that the baby ninja knew who they were. To what extent? Someone did their research. Too bad they had to die, especially since the whisker mark brat knew about the hunter ninja that was pursuing them. Kushimaru smiled in a psychotic way as he started to giggle. Well then, if you know why hunter ninjas are coming for our heads, then you know why me and Jinpachi are here in front of you. Make it easy and just stand in one line, so I can kill you all in one shot, he said, continuing his crazy laughter as he aimed his giant needle sword towards Naruto's heart. Naruto backed up, suddenly signaled towards his 2 teammates that he was about to throw down the bomb. Studying on the Orochimaru had him memorize almost every bingo about ninja, B rank and higher, so he would know them when he come across them in his lifetime. These 2 were A rank, ruthless murderers who was not supposed to be taken lightly. 2 of the 7 ninja swordsmen after all. Their swords a new berry, aka the sewing needle, and the shibuki, the slash. They weren't swords that should be taken lightly. One mistake could end up with them skewered or blown to pieces. They had to play this smart. Jinpachi swung his sword as it crashed into one of the trees. He ripped it out as the entire thing fell. Any last words before we take your heads, boys? Naruto dropped the smoke bomb and created 2 clones that grabbed Shikamaru and Sasuke and moved towards the building on their left to hide them inside. As Naruto was ready to take these 2 down, Orochimaru praised his skill highly, and he will be damned if he did not live up to expectations. As Naruto produced 2 daggers to attack the 2 with, Kushimaru tossed several senbon towards Naruto. His speed was something they were not expecting, as he was already moving at Chunin level. As Naruto flipped over the attack, he angled himself towards Jinpachi, trying to drive one of his daggers in the man's skull. In hindsight, he would come to realize that trying to mount and attack directly from the air against 2 high-level swordsmen was a rather stupid idea. They were that level for a reason after all. Cute little acrobatics kid. It's probably bad that they're gonna die from this first attack though. As Jinpachi swung his Shubiki down towards Naruto, who switched from attacking to defending in a split second, allowing more bones to extend from his forearm, blocking the massive blade. No way, that little shit has a Genkai, Kushimaru said, as he saw the bones emerge from the airborne child. Kiki Genkai in their village was not perceived very well. Large amount of people got murdered because they had bloodlines. It was one of the main driving reasons behind the civil war going on in Kiri. Jinpachi allowed the numerous explosive tags to be shown on the blade. You really have to die now, he said. Let's see how that disgusting feature you call a bloodline help you survive this, boy. A massive explosion enveloped Naruto, sending him careening into the building that Shikamaru and Sasuke were in. His body impacting the building quite harshly. Kushimaru looked up towards a gaping hole. You think he survived? I know he survived, Jinpachi said, as he glanced towards his partner. So, how do we go about this? If he can survive a point-blank range from your blade, he must be a hard character to kill, said Kushimaru. Jinpachi swung his blade as a long arc of explosive notes rushed towards the building as he moved, having it wrapped around it. As Kushimaru chuckled as he rushed forward, better apply some pressure on those kids so they can't escape their deaths. With Sasuke and Shikamaru, Sasuke felt robbed and insulted. Once a smoke pellet had dropped, he felt ready to face off against his 2 tough opponents and see how far he stacked up in the ninja world, only for him to be grabbed by a damn clone. Now they were sitting in what looked like an old hotel. He was adamant to go down there to battle, but the clones would not let them out. One stood at the door while the other one stood at the wall, listening to the sounds of battle outside. Shikamaru uncharacteristically punched a hole in the wall. Why did he think it was a smart idea to take those 2 out by himself? Everyone knew that Naruto was better than what he led people to believe. But unlike him and Sasuke, Shikamaru didn't have a large-ass ego. It was obvious to him that Naruto bit off more than he could chew on this one. He just hoped that he didn't lose a friend tonight, because of that friend thinking that he was unstoppable. The clone at the door spoke up. He had us take you guys in here so that he could fight without you guys getting hurt. Don't worry about it, boss. It's too badass to die. Boom! An explosion went off outside. The building foundation was shook. Does the dope know any explosive techniques, Sasuke asked. Nope. We only know 2 jutsus at the moment. Any further talk was ceased as something flew in the room. The clone dispelled as the thing was blown away from the door. The clone was sent flying as it poofed, along with Shikamaru as well, as he crashed into the wall. As whatever it was, it slammed into the wall rather roughly, creating a huge indent. Shikamaru rolled back to his feet as he looked up to see Naruto. His arms were completely burned. His skin was black, charred. His shirt was in tatters, barely managed to stay on his person. Blood dripped freely from his mangled torso, drenching the ground below him. He coughed up an unhealthy amount of blood. Yeah, that sword is no joke. He had to thank his lucky stars to kick Inkai alone to survive that, otherwise he would have been split into half. Good thing he had a strong durability. Shikamaru gasped as he couldn't believe that Naruto was in that state. Damn it, Naruto. This is what happens when you believe that you can take on the world by itself. I couldn't let you guys get hurt. As a matter of fact, you guys need to run back to the boat and get out of here. Well, you can. Both of the Shikamaru and Sasuke thought the same thing, but they expressed it in different ways. It's official. You really are touched in the head. We can't leave, Sasuke said. I still have to get my shot at them. Oh yeah, and avenge you as well. No matter what you say, we're not leaving you behind. Did you go easy on him, dope? Sasuke asks. Screw you. Those two aren't someone you go easy on. The last clone came over and helped him up, out of the wall. You can sit and flirt with Sasuke later, boss. Right now there are two missing names outside, planning on killing us. Despite the tense situation, Shikamaru couldn't help but laugh at the jab that the clone said to his leader. Leave it to a clone of Naruto to take shot of himself, during a life and death battle. Ignoring that, Sasuke addressed the injured jinchuuriki. Are you able to move around freely? Naruto shakily got to his feet. Don't worry about me, I'll be perfectly fine. Let's just try to get out here in one piece. Shikamaru was not believing that one bit, due to Naruto's interest. But as concerned as he was over his friend's health, they need to leave now. Fighting those two was not a wise thing to do, after seeing what one swing did to their strongest fighter. They all gather around the door, the clone leading the way, with Shikamaru behind the clone, Sasuke behind him and Naruto at the back. As they walk, as the clone kicked the door open the moment he did, Shikamaru was right in front of the door. Oh hi there, Blondie. Die for me, would you? He thrust the needle blade forward as he stabbed through the clone. Shikamaru was able to move, but not completely, as it pinned him in the arm, prying him down to the wall. Shikamaru slammed into the wall roughly as he started to bleed at a heavy rate. Right before he fell unconscious, he noticed various things. Naruto and Sasuke screamed out his name. Naruto releasing several bone projectiles from his body. Sasuke firing a massive fireball through his mouth. The mad swordsman laughing his ass off as he dodged the bones. The building that they were close to started to rumble until he heard blast sword technique, blasting bridle, repeated death. Jinpachi shouted out. The following explosion as everything went up in flames. Jinpachi looked down towards his handiwork as he watched the fire crackle, as he propped his beloved blade on his shoulder. There was no way those brats could have survived that down there. Sure, it was a bit overkill, but hey, his sword has an unlimited amount of explosive tags within it. Overkill became a part of his battle style the moment he learned how to use that blade. At least he didn't have a sword as born as Executioner Blade. Although it was large and stated to be an instrument of death, it still lost to almost every other blade in the 7 Ninja Swordsman. In terms of a cool factor about it, after a good 5 minutes, he was alerted to his unarmed associate. Those kids never stood a chance. I hope my sword doesn't get too messed up from being in that explosion. You were that reckless, leave your sword inside of a future demolition site. Are you an idiot or something? Jinpachi asks. Legendary blades were to be treated like you're a part of the owner itself, and yet you just throw it like that. You don't just leave your baby inside of a soon-to-be pile of rubble. Maybe he should fight him for that, just based on the principle. Shikamaru grunted at the insinuation as he yanked his arm back. The ninja runner's arm went rigid, as he snorted, oh yeah. I forgot about the whole sewing ninja gimmick. Perhaps his partner wasn't that stupid and disrespectful. After several seconds of pulling, the sword finally came out, being pulled toward its owner. He inspected the blade, as he looked for any sign of damage, while all the blades were tougher than any normal blade. His blade getting caught up in an explosion like that wasn't exactly normal, and could not refix itself like what Zabuza blade did to itself. Jinpachi looked at the blade. There's no blood on it. Did you not stab one of the twerps? I know for a fact I got one, Shikamaru said. I impaled him to a wall and everything. There is no way those kids should have survived that. As they watched the smoke from the building rise up to the heavens, a thunder could be heard from above. We should get a move on. It's gonna begin storming soon, Kushimaru. I still want to make sure those brats are dead, especially that blonde bastard in there. How did Konoha even produce a shinobi with that bloodline? I could have sworn that the Kaguyas were based in Mizunokuni, not Hainokuni. That was a good point, but too bad. The brat was dead, they could not grill him for any info. Kushimaru gathered up all his wire as he placed sword on his back. Well, I guess it's time to get back on the road before the Hunter Nin shows up. Move your ass, Jinpachi. I'm not about to get stuck in a potential lightning storm. I've got enough of nearly getting electrified with Riga and Imurai. I'm not gonna Earth style. Groundhog technique, decapitation. The grown mini Kishimaru gave way as two burned hands gripped his legs. What the hell? Jinpachi's eyes went wide. The boy with the bloodline, he's still alive. Kushimaru tried to shake it off, but several bones ripped into his ankles, crippling the man as he dropped to the ground, screaming in agonizing pain. Jinpachi, kill that little shit! As the hands released him. Next thing he knew, the hands gripped his throat. His eyes went wide as he realized what happened to his legs. The swordsman didn't even stand a chance once the hands got hold of him. It was like a porcupine as the bones came out and tore into his skull. This Genin needed to be killed instantly. Altercation between a Genin and a Jonin caused a elite Jonin to be killed. If that bloodline was left unchecked, this brat will be too dangerous. Jinpachi leaped towards one of the buildings to avoid the same fate. The body of Kushimaru was pulled into the ground. Saying that new barrel was being pulled as well, he pulled the kunai as he wrapped an explosive dagger on it and threw it. Once the explosion decimated the street, he jumped down. He then drew his blade as he waited for his target to show himself as he glanced around. After not seeing the freak, he brought his blade down as he tore everything asunder. Chunks of the land flew all about, driven freely by the explosion force. Once the dust was settled, Jinpachi was alerted to the signs of movement in front of him. He looked to see a dirty, bloody Naruto getting to his feet. Do you got a fetish for explosion or something? Jinpachi smirked at the boy's confidence as he saw the boy's mangled leg. Aren't you a bit too young to know about adult things like that, boy? Answering a question with a question, a classic way to piss someone off. As he pointed towards his leg, I am honestly surprised that you managed to survive that death trap I created for you lot. Judging by the lack of people backing you up, I'm assuming that your pals did not come out alive. Weaklings like those were not gonna live long anyway, so I did them a favor by killing them. As Naruto wanted to inform him that he was completely wrong, he instead went about a different way. Hey, before we settle this, can I ask you a question? The rain started to come down. I've destroyed your friends, cripple you, smiling while doing it all. I guess I can grant you that wish. What is it, Brett? Can I braid your beard? I mean, I know it's already braided into two separate ones, but I just want to braid into one, super huge one. So how about it, said Naruto. You really chose to ask me that for your last words. He shook his head in a disappointed manner. I'll admit, I didn't see that coming. As he charged forward, but two things happened that he was not prepared for. One, the child's leg snapped back into place, the bone fixing itself easily. Two, the child dropped to his knees as he aimed his finger forward. 10-finger drilling bullets. Jinpachi got one graze across his face, drawing blood, as he dodged and deflected the others. Crafty little shit, aren't you? You're going to die tonight. As Naruto leaped forward, Jinpachi had to step back, knowing that he could rip into his skin with those bones of his. He turned and delivered a brutal kick to Naruto's stomach, throwing him into another building. Not to want to give the child a chance to retreat, he rushed towards the hole. He whistled at the fact that he hit the child hard enough to send him through the whole building. He whistled at that. It seems like he didn't know his own strength. The jinchuuriki slammed into a railing. A rather sturdy one, yet his back dent the railing. Naruto bit back another pain-off scream as he regained his bearings. He could have sworn that he got hit by Orochimaru. He hasn't been hit that hard since he came to Konoha. He knew for a fact that kick probably shattered a couple of ribs and damaged a few internal organs. As he took a breath, but he had to cough up a lot of blood. Guess it was safe to assume that one of his bones punctured his ribs. This guy was a different breed of shinobi. While he was a member of 700 Swordsmen, they were said to be the elites of Kiri. No break for you, said Jinpachi as he stood in front of Naruto. He slammed his knee into Naruto's face, sending him over the railing right into the river that divided the village. Naruto smacked the water hard as a large pillar shot up in the air. All of the damage that Naruto has took, it was taking its toll on him as he could feel himself going unconscious. Everything was becoming so muffled even though the place was blazing loud with sounds. He even heard a sizzling noise. Wait, what the boom? Explosive tags exploded right on top of the river, sending Naruto deep under. Jinchuuriki chuckled as he placed a foot on the railing. I'll give you that. You were one tough nut to crack. Too bad having a borderline indestructible skeleton cannot save you from drowning. Feeling that his business was done here, he returned to retrieve new bear from the street where he left it at. He just hoped he didn't mess up too bad with all of his attacks. Meanwhile, Naruto was blinking in and out of consciousness as he floated back to the top of the water as he passed out. Pathetic. Even with your little precious bloodline, you still managed to lose. If it wasn't for me, you would have died. Pathetic child. As Naruto slowly opened his eyes. Who said that? Be silent and hear my words. I'm going to give you enough energy to kill that man. However, this power will not come without a price. But we can discuss that later. Creepy. Do you want my soul or something? As much as he hated the idea of losing a deep voice like that, presenting him power was not one that he was just gonna jump to. What if I don't want your power, deep voice? And how much times have you gone through puberty to make your voice that deep? It's either you take my power, go kill that weakling that almost killed you 3 times for the night. Make sure your comrades are survive and make it to the boat safely. Or you either wait in this river until you heal naturally. I suggest you make a quick decision before that man leaves the area. Time is ticking, the voice said, as Naruto worried about Shikamaru bleeding out before he got back to the mainland. And he had to make sure that he was okay. He had to. Meanwhile, Konoha, Hokage's tower, Asuma and Kakashi was standing there, as both men felt a massive amount of killer intent. I wonder what's causing all that killer intent to fly around. Asuma nodded. Whatever it is, I'm pretty sure that it's not something too dangerous or life-threatening, seeing that the building is still standing. The last time he felt his father was so angry when he told him that he was leaving the village to go and work under the daimyo. You're probably right. It's probably nothing Hokage-sama can't handle himself. He does need to tone down the power he let out all willy-nilly though. His poor receptionist just passed out, as someone came up. We just got word that it's reaching the academy. Someone needs to get him to stop. Some of the kids are passed out as well. Damn. It's so potent in that far reach. At least no one can say that he hasn't lost his touch in his old age. In said room. You must be a fool, Hiruzen. Remind yourself of who you're speaking to, Hiruzen said, as the 2 ancient men were releasing raw, pure killer intent that would drop a lesser shinobi down to his knees. It's been this way for the past 30 minutes, and it didn't seem like he was gonna stop anytime soon. As soon as Danzo caught wind of the fact that Naruto was allowed to leave the village, with the Uchiha ear and the Nara ear as well, he made his way to the office. Since his arrival, he's been dealing with the foolish decision that Hiruzen made to let one of the most powerful assets of this village roam around freely. Do you not see the error of your ways, Hiruzen? This is the journey of his. Could spell nothing but trouble for him and the other 2 heir of their clans. It really wasn't something Hiruzen should allow at all. Damn him and his soft heart nature. Hiruzen tried to calm himself, but his killer intent was still up. Danzo, think about all that boy has been through. His whole childhood, he didn't know who he really was. Now he has a chance to go and learn about part of his heritage. We can give the poor child that much, but Danzo did not share the same sentiments. He is not some mere child that you can coddle and comfort, Hiruzen. The Uzumaki clan has been basically extinct since the last war. Surely you don't expect the child to come back with anything satisfactory for his hunger. For information regarding his clan, what could he possibly bring back? A pile of rubble hiding some special Uzumaki sealing art? Highly unlikely. I simply cannot fathom what reason you have behind this course of action. You really let the child at the fort, who was kidnapped by one of the notorious missing ninjas of this village, for the past 7 years of his life. Now, through a stroke of luck, your student came across the jinchuuriki and brought him back to the village, and you let him run wild the moment he becomes an official genin. Please help me see how this was a wise decision, or how it benefit the village in any shape or form. Hiruzen snorted with disdain as he didn't like to be remembered about that incident all those years ago. I'm failing to see how that snort helped your argument, my friend. Maybe you're becoming senile. Danzo, think not as a cold, calculated shinobi, but as a human being with compassion. But Danzo interrupted him once again. Compassion won't save the jinchuuriki if you come across something on the trip. That is yet another point. What if an underling, a land Orochimaru, came across a child on a trip? We both know that despite your desire to place a child in the academy, he's above the other children on a far skiller level. But surely you see where I'm going with this. 3 first genins, one of them being the village jinchuuriki, and the other 2 being important clan heirs, just roaming around in ruins, without a higher level shinobi watching over them. That was just a recipe for disaster, so what do you suggest I done to? And do be mindful that you will never get Naruto in your way, so whatever resolve you have around that is a moot point. Simple, I would have kept him in the village, so he would not be captured by anyone who want to lay their hands on him. He would be safe in the village walls, Hiruzen. So you want to keep him out of harm's way, correct? Yes. By keeping him under the village. Watchful gaze. Yes. Well, wouldn't that be coddling him like a mere child, my old friend? Here's an axe. Danzo frowned as he knew that he would not win this argument at the moment. At the very least, you should have sent an elite jonin, along with the children and the asset. But your whining wisdom prevent you from doing that. His name is Naruto, Danzo, not the asset. It will be in your best interest to remember to refer to the boy as a human being, not some disposal tool for your purpose. Are we clear? Danzo decided to humor the Kage with a grunt of acknowledgement. Good. Now Naruto is strong enough to handle any obstacle that is thrown along their way. There's no need for someone to go along and babysit them. Besides, they're traveling towards Usa. The chance of them running into any danger that is out of their league is severely low. Danzo shook his head sadly, as he almost felt bad for Hiruzen. His poor judgment was going to be the death of this village. On the other side, this proved beneficial for his plans. He just hoped that the root ninja he sent to prevent the jinchuuriki from being taken did not fail. Failure was not an option. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notification to stay posted, remember share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Half Kryptonian and Half Saiyan over in Anime King 3. And over in Anime King I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Got All of Grandma Powers before the Chunin exams. So go ahead and enjoy that, guys. And also remember, for anyone this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your loving support. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say we get the hell out of here? See you guys soon. Peace, guys.